What's up, guys? So here's a paper from Severe Weather Europe that just lost any grant monies that they could ever possibly get in the future by writing this article, but they're telling the truth, so good deal. Like I've been saying, summer came late, didn't stay very long, about 45 days. It really started here around beginning of June, and then about August 15th, everything cooled down to about 20 degrees below our average. And I confirmed this by checking several places I've lived before, and I know the average temperature there. Texas, I know it's still hot, guys. We'll get to the polar vortex in a minute. It usually doesn't, the jet stream usually doesn't dip down that far, but for a lot of North America and Europe, we are seeing below average temperature. So, a substantial stratospheric event is now being observed in the southern hemisphere following a mass injection of water vapor. We'll get to the northern hemisphere in a minute. This, of course, is because of Hungatanga, and cooling on this scale has not been seen in modern satellite records. Now, it's interesting that all of their data sets are focused around the North Pole, and they've got nothing on the South Pole. They'll show all kinds of data sets of the polar vortex in the north, but not anything in the south. Funny how they're able to put all this tech 350 miles up into space, but they can't fly a plane over Antarctica still. But originally they were saying Hunga was, I think, 70,000 feet, and it wound up being more than twice that, like 180,000 feet, I think. It's 36 miles. Do the math. But if you have particulates sprayed into the stratosphere, then it reflects some of the sunlight. Sulfur dioxide is the worst. Water vapor is a lot worse than they were leading on at first about this, evidently. And once again, they are using only examples of the North Pole. They don't have any of these for the South. But if you guys remember winter before last, when everything froze up in Texas and the power was out and everything, it's because of the jet streams falling so far down south that the Arctic air is cooling all of North America and Europe. Now, they do keep saying that we're experiencing currently a cooling event in the southern hemisphere, but as I'll show you in a minute, we've got the largest deposits of snow and ice on the Greenland ice sheet ever on record in August. And I mean, on record, period, for all times, but it happened in August. But mainly in this article, they're saying that we're about to experience cooling in the northern hemisphere, where I think we already are. The average water vapor went from 1,500 telegrams up to 1,700, a 10% increase. Again, more reflectivity. And if you look at previous winters following a cold south stratospheric anomaly, it cools the waters and creates a cooler North Atlantic oscillation pattern. And you can see how it swoops right up over Europe. Just so you guys know, a third of Pakistan is underwater right now. It's just one big ocean. But the ocean temperatures, I've heard it, compared to a conveyor belt. But the temperature of the oceans are the driver of a stable or unstable climate. And when these get out of whack, then it throws the jet streams off. The jet streams come way down south. Half of Texas freezes up. And the whole moral of their story is, looking at snowfall, we can expect to see above average snowfall for much of the United States and also Europe, due to the heat being trapped in the stratosphere, causing stratospheric warmer, which translates to colder temperatures down below. Even the Farmer's Almanac is calling for a very cold winter this year. And this is just happens to be right when we're having this energy crisis. And they're having all kinds of problems over in Europe right now. I mean, everybody sold out of firewood. People are literally trying to go buy coal to heat their homes with this winter. And they're already seeing like 50 to 100% increase in their energy costs. They're saying like 70% of the pubs in Britain are going to have to close because of the energy costs this winter. And they're saying some people will see $6,000 energy bills this winter in Europe. But this is how they're going to get everybody to go along with their plan. They're going to make it prohibitively expensive to eat and stay warm. I've said for a long time, if they're going to do a food crunch, then it's going to be in the winter time. It's just simple math. People are much more likely to take to the streets when it's hot out than it's cold. So I'm installing a wood stove in my house. You guys do whatever you want. And I just saw 3 articles in the last 2 days on how sea level rise is imminent and all this. Well, the Greenland ice sheet that they keep saying is going to melt just smashed records with a 7 gigaton gain in one day. I guess it is the largest gain during the summer. And you got to keep in mind every time that they're saying all this stuff, they're just going off measurements that started back in the 1980s. But you can see in the blue there that we're well above average gains for the year. And they even said exactly what I was thinking in the article. Anyway, guys, it's going to be a cold winter. And I'd say in the next couple months, we're going to start seeing them play their cards because they kind of have to right now. And it's not looking good for them here in America anyway. So, but unless you want to be the first one signed up for the mark of the beast, be able to feed yourself and be able to keep yourself warm no matter what they throw at you for a little while. That makes sense, right? Static out.